Hello and welcome to InSight. I'm Wendy Brokaw.
And I'm Ross Sutherland.
When you walk around Salem, you see art everywhere, and that is exactly what the city of Salem wants, art everywhere. The city of Salem has a large and growing art collection, a public art collection, and they want you to explore it and enjoy it. So with us today to do exactly that are our guests. Welcome to InSight. We have Rick Yurt. He is the chair of the city's Public Art Commission and also one of its longest serving members. Thank you for joining us today. And Courtney Knox Bush. She is the City of Salem Strategic Initiatives Manager and the city's liaison with the commission. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Well, before we get into exactly what this collection is, where to go and explore it and enjoy it, let's learn a little bit more about the whole commission itself, how you got started, and what's this all about?
Well, it started out a kind of a Vision 2020 program, which was a citizens' kind of reaction to where they wanted the city to go and what they wanted it to be in 2020. And we're almost there, aren't we?
Yeah.
But one of those things was, more visual arts, in the urban core. And so there was a group of people that started, the Oregon Artist Series Foundation started hosting shows at the convention center, and then, for the public, open public galleries. They've extended that out into the plaza with some sculptures, and so there was started to be some momentum that was formed. They were an independent group from the city, and the city wanted to kind of have involvement. So I think it was Mayor Peterson started the Public Art Commission, and I was one of the initial members of the commission. There were 7 of us.
One of the other commission members told me that between the two of them, they know more about this whole art collection that the city has. Can you give us an idea of just how big it is?
Do you want to talk about the value?
Well, there's over 130 pieces in it, and it ranges from drawings, prints, paintings, a lot of two-dimensional work, as well as some sculptures of wall-mounted sculptures, freestanding sculptures that are placed in and around the Civic Center and throughout downtown, or places in downtown. I shouldn't say throughout downtown. That's one of our goals, to maybe get some more stuff throughout downtown. We have a mural that was just completed downtown in the alley between Court and Chemeketa, north and south, and east-west between Liberty and Commercial. Mir Mays, artist by the name of Damian Gilley, did it. He's a renowned environmental artist who comes into a lot of public spaces, transit spaces, spaces where people are moving through these corridors and hallways and lobbies and whatnot, and plays off of the architectural line work of the environment.
The work is on 3 walls, and there's kind of a sweet spot where you can stand that will look a little bit more aligned in perspective. So there's a horizon line that continues all the way across all 3 walls, and then when you're walking around this thing, because they're at different angles, the work will kind of shift in form. So you'll get like kind of pure geometries on some sides, and other ones will be skewed dramatically. So as you walk, it's actually activated like walking around a building. If you walk around a building, that will shift and things will change. And so it's a really simple but subtle perceptual phenomenon that I'm aiming for.
There's a process by which these projects get chosen. Could you tell us a little bit about the backstory behind Waldo Stewart and how it came to be?
And in both of these cases, these 2 murals were funded with the Riverfront Downtown Urban Renewal Area, and that advisory board to the Urban Renewal Agency said, we want to make sure that there is more art in the downtown because it creates a vibrant space for all activity to start occurring. And so they funded both of those murals, and they had an interest in seeing the murals completed. They funded them in December and wanted to see them up in July. And so they chose the sites, the schedule, and the budget.
Then handed it off to us, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Make it happen.
Yeah, and so we went through a pretty
Exactly.
exhaustive search for mural artists that were qualified and capable to do something like this.
And available on that timeline.
And available, and willing to take
Exactly.
on this schedule. So we approached, I think, 25 artists, and then narrowed that down to a handful that we discussed as a commission, and then selected 4 that we got conceptual ideas for how they would treat these particular spaces. And then from that we went out, and Courtney did a great job of going out to the community, the local merchants, the neighborhood groups, and any kind of other business group. I don't know who else you went to.
Oh, we went everywhere. Anyone that would hear me. I had my phone out all the time. Look at this. Have you seen what we're doing?
But got really positive response, and so then we engaged these 2 artists.
My name is Blaine Fontana. I am an artist, designer, and muralist from Portland, Oregon. The name of the mural, Waldo Stewart's, was inspired by a park here in Salem, right up the road next to the Capitol, called Waldo Park. And it's the size of about 10 by 20, and it's considered one of the world's smallest city parks. And as also picking this, it's something near and dear to my heart, is my love and interest in connection with trees. As one who also grew up around trees in my youth on Bainbridge Island. In addition, the stewards bit are these pileated woodpeckers in there, and these are pretty much one of my favorite birds. One being around the Northwest predominantly, but also 2 that they're endangered. I thought that was a cool symbolism and parallel for creating this new unique vibe down here as well, as okay, here's another rare site to go visit and to be part of and have a connective little moment.
We try to purchase, within Oregon at most, and then, maybe even into Washington for some of our artists. So Northwest. So that's kind of the circles of Salem, starting real local, getting into the Willamette Valley, the state of Oregon, and then the Northwest.
Well, and that makes the collection really unique in the sense that you don't just sort of have this hodgepodge of artists from everywhere, that it really, when you come to see the public arts collection, you see something that's done locally, and local doesn't always mean provincial.
You may not see that. You won't see it in other places. Some pieces, if it's a really well-known sculptor, you're going to see their work maybe around, and maybe that'll happen someday.
Well, but it really does tell Salem's story in the end.
Yes,
that's what it does.
Can you tell us a little bit how you can find out about where all these bits and pieces of art are, and then learn more about them?
Well, probably the best location is the city website, and the
Yes.
entire collection is on that website.
Really?
So you could go down, scroll down through it and see, and you could search by 2-dimensional work, you could search by artist name, you could find where they are. But there's the map component that we were talking about earlier.
Just saw that map today. It's
that
wonderful.
kind of highlights where the location is. So that'll get you started. And once you kind of see one and find it, connecting the dots starts to happen, and you just wander around.
In order to be able to donate a work of art, learn more about what's in the collection, and walk about it, how do they get in touch with you?
Well, again, through the city website, we're all listed on there under the commissions. There's a number of commissions that serve different functions in parts of the city, so we're just one of those. And now we're starting to do some fun stuff, and that's really exciting to me once it starts going out into the public realm.
Well, and thank you for all your work pulling that together, because it really, talk about a treasure hunt now. It's really a treasure hunt then, where you go, well, we've got this name on a list, and what is it, and where is it? And
1972 mimeographed, handwritten notes. That's what we started with.
Mimeograph.
Mimeograph,
Look it up. Google it.
I don't know if we have any mimeograph in the collection.
Yeah, you should. You should
have
just
some
frame
fine
the
lithographs.
original the things.
Well,
But,
we'll have to have them back.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, we'll
of
have you
course.
back sort of to keep the fun
Sure,
going
yeah.
and learn more about what we can now see and go and explore and enjoy in the world of art right here in
'cause
Salem.
it's happening right here.
That's
Right, it's all
exciting.
happening right here. And thank you for joining us today on InSight. I'm Wendy Brokaw.
And I'm Ross Sutherland.
We'll see you next time.